Okay, so yesterday, the president gives a big speech and makes a big deal out of equal pay for equal work. Now, this is such a ginned up number because anybody who works in an office, anybody who runs a business knows that to get equal pay, you have to, A, work long hours, work hard, work for a long period of time. It doesn't mean that there's not equal work being put out, but for instance, guys aren't going on maternity leave. Guys are not making the choices to, you know what, I'm going to go home. Right, I'm going to go home. I'm going to be with the kids, or I'm going to do this. So it's not anything bad, but many times women choose to lead a different life than men do.
They rarely choose to go for 6 months to an oil platform and work in dangerous conditions.
And all of those things are factored in this overall number.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that, we're comparing, an oil rigger who's gone for 6 months to somebody who's working in an office.
The fact is, studies have shown, have they not, that when you compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, men and women who do the same thing for the same amount of time make the same amount of money.
Same experience.
Take all of it out.
Everything equal, they do make equal pay.
Almost exactly identical. And in some cases, women make more. I mean, especially in certain fields. I mean, that's just the way it is.
So it's another ginned up excuse.
Yes. Yep. It's total bullcrap argument.
It's total bullcrap. And the president is, again, doing nothing but divide us. Beware of those trying to divide us.
But all along, as they've been pushing this agenda with the Lilly Ledbetter Act and all this stuff, the whole time during both campaigns, he's paid women on his staff less than the men, and continues to pay women on his staff 88 cents on the dollar.
No one says anything. Well, yesterday, after he made this big, announcement that, a time for the end of inequality and women have to be paid the same as men, a reporter asked Jay Carney, could you help us out with this?
Obviously, though, at the 88 cents that you cite, that is not 100, but it is better than the national average. And when it comes to the bottom line that women who do the same work as men have to be paid the same, there is no question that is happening here at the White House.
And it's happening everywhere else in America, too.
But it's not. You're paying 88 cents on a dollar. So how can you say, well, they have to be paid the same, and there's no doubt that it's happening here at the White House? No, sir. The stat is you pay 88 cents on the dollar.
Well, but it's not 77 cents on the dollar.
Yeah. Well, no, it's also not 12 cents, and it's not $143 on the dollar. So what point is that? You're saying equal pay for men and women, you're demanding it, and you yourself are paying 88 cents to every dollar that the man makes.
And I just love the fact that he says, when it comes down to the bottom line is, if you compare apples to apples, well, then we're right. Well, that's the entire society is also on the same page as you. Yeah. If you compare apples to apples, your entire argument is predicated on not comparing apples to apples. That stat you throw out there is just taking all the women who work and dividing it by how many hours they work.
Yeah.
It's just, and the same thing with men. It's a stupid measure, which is based on things that are completely irrelevant. And when you apply that standard they've been using to make all of their arguments to them, they fail the test, and he starts making the arguments we're making.
Okay, seriously.
It's crazy.
Seriously. I want to know. Come on. Here we are in this place where none of us thought this could happen. None of us. I don't think anybody in this audience or in this building really thought. I mean, I warned and I hoped we would never get here. I really thought the American people would wake up and it would be like, okay. I thought the press would wake up, no. So really, honestly, what the hell happens next? Seriously, what happens next? Where do you go from here as a society?
I hope they just start having fun with it and just start making up like we have discovered a unicorn. We have a unicorn in the back. He's in the White House garden, and that's what we should do. We should just start making stuff up.
I
think that would be cool, and then they can defend it because they'll defend it. Obviously, the truth has there's no application to what they talk about. So why not make it fun? Stop BSing about women's pay and start making up unicorns.
Let's talk about how they're killing unicorns on federal land.
Or we could go into the Torchai Massacre, but we all know that's real. So the unicorn thing is good. What happened to the unicorn?
Well,
where did it go?
Yes, we've killed unicorns, but not as many as have been killed in the past. It's not as many as Bush killed. Bush killed more unicorns than we have.
And the Washington Post will run that story on the front page.
It will.
And they will say they've signed up 7 million unicorns to Obamacare.
They did the same thing with unemployment. Remember that when it was 10%? And the excuse was, well,
a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Right? So people kind of say, yeah, but unemployment's still at 9.6. Yes, but it's not 12 or 13.
So that's what Cardi did yesterday. Well, it's 88 cents, but at least it's not 77 or 10.
You're right.
It's not 10 cents an hour.
You know when things change? When we stop getting pissed at this and we all just start laughing at them. Yeah. When
That's
America
all you can do
begins to laugh at them, then it's over. Because then they're just a joke. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to be around a joke. I warn you, dictators go crazy when you laugh at them. Dictators don't like being laughed at. But of course, this guy's not a dictator.
No, of course not.
And that's
so
why,
there's nothing to worry about.
Right. So that's why free reign on all the comedians on Saturday Night Live and everything else. Don't worry. He's not a dictator. And so there wouldn't be any ramifications of making fun of him. Right?
Right.
Because only real dictators, only Marxist revolutionaries,
only tyrants
get pissed when you mock them or make fun of them. So
he'll just laugh this off.
He'll laugh it off. It's a good sense of humor. Look at George Bush with Dana Carvey. I mean, it was funny, right? He was mocking him relentlessly, and they had a good time with it. So I'm sure there's no problem mocking this president.
He has really thick skin. I mean,
he
never reacts.
He's proven that out.
He and Michelle are going to be laughing.
Oh, man, they'll laugh about this.
Yeah, no, it's...
Did you guys listen to Glenn Beck this morning? He
was so funny.
Fun of
He's
us.
right on the money on that one. I mean, I don't agree with what he says, but...
Well, we all been silly because we said people were going to see a $2,500 decrease per family, and it's increased, and now we're saying, well, it hasn't increased as much as it did in the past. And now we're doing the same thing on the Lily Ledbetter stuff.
It's so funny.
He has a good point. It's kind of funny.
When Jim Moran says that Congress is underpaid...
Yeah.
Yes.
How much should you pay? Let's say the Congress or our board of directors. How much would you pay your board of directors who have done what you want them to do about 10% of the time? I mean, you pay them a fortune, right?
Oh, yeah.
If they have a 10% approval rating, you're going to want to pay them.
This is the company.
I got a bunch of money.
This is the United States of America Incorporated. It is a giant company. That's what it is. Can you imagine? We're the shareholders. Can you imagine? You would be looking at the rest of the city. You would have sold your stock a long time ago. You would have said, what the hell is wrong with all you people? Are you kidding me? They're stealing us blind. They're robbing us. We're at $17 trillion in debt. There's no product we could ever make that's going to pay that off. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't you see? They have sold the company into slavery of another company. And I got news for you. I think I'm going to sell my shares now because you guys are crazy. And if they started shutting down all the shareholders, can you imagine? If somebody would use police to come in to shut down all the shareholders in the shareholder meetings and then rig all of the elections, you would get out of that room in a heartbeat. You'd get out of that room. And you'd certainly fire and if one of the board of directors said, you know what? Yes, we're $17 trillion in debt, but we don't make enough. As a shareholder, you would laugh. You would laugh out loud at that shareholders meeting. And then you'd look around and go, come on, guys, I'm not the only one, right? Come on, that's funny.
Well, I mean, it's if you had a restaurant that you went to every 10 times and only enjoyed one meal, you would stop going to the restaurant. There's no recourse to do that because all we can do is essentially change out the cooks and the waitstaff. And then people come back in and they do the exact same thing over and over again. Well, we would just stop going to that restaurant, but we have no choice because this restaurant has been assigned to us.
You do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
This system is already there. So we had we could
do have a choice. There are parachutes in the system to be able to get. I mean, listen to Mark Levin; he's right on this.
Oh yeah, no,
there's a
definitely
parachute in the system in the Constitution, and then there's one after that, and that's in the Declaration of Independence. You have the obligation to overthrow the chains of the shackles of tyrants. I mean, that's like the crazy option. But there are options. You're not.
Oh, and our easiest option, of course, is to elect people.
Win the next election.
Yeah.
Just win the next election.
For one
who
thing.
know the Constitution and will act on it.
Yeah. But instead, we listen to their reasoning of, well, yeah, they do only make $174,000, and they do have to have 2 homes. So,
oh my gosh,
yeah, we should.
I feel bad for them.
I know.
That's hard.
Right?
What happened to the word service? Service. You know who's serving our country? The military, who get out and then they got nothing.
Yeah,
they have nothing,
including jobs.
These guys, these guys. We have. I think it's a 70% unemployment rate of our veterans. That's not good. And those are the guys who actually served us. And what are we doing about it? And these guys leave with their huge pensions. They leave with all the glitz and glamour of everything. They go on speaking tours and everything else. Meanwhile, our veterans are starving. It's obscene. It really is. I mean, this is King Louis and Marie Antoinette, and it's not just the president and his lavish lifestyle. It's all of them in Washington. It's really grotesque.